What is Star Citizen? Is it a scam or a revolution in gaming? My name is Grumpy Eye and I'm gonna try to answer that question. Grumpy Eye. I have been playing Star Citizen every day for almost 2 years now, so you can see this video as an honest 2-year review. In this video, I will shine a light on the flaws of Star Citizen and its development. I will tell you what you can do in Star Citizen currently and what you still can't even after 10 years of development. But I will also tell you about the amazing side of Star Citizen and what keeps me playing. So if you're still considering buying Star Citizen after watching this video, you should consider using my referral code to get a slight boost with the in-game money. Also, you might get some other rewards during events. For example, currently you can get a free ship. Also, I need to state that this is not a sponsored video and that every person that has bought the game has his own referral code. So you can use anyone's code, but if you want to support my channel, you can use mine. So let's start things off by addressing the main question, and that question is Star Citizen a scam or not? The year is 2012. The world has already been changed by open-world games such as Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4, Fallout, and Skyrim. The gaming community has also had a lot of different MMO games such as Star Wars Galaxies, EVE Online, or World of Warcraft, but there is a certain decline when it comes to the number of space-themed games that are being released, and there is almost no big multiplayer space action and adventure games, and there is almost no person on the planet of Earth, or should I say no gamers, that wouldn't want to be a part of an epic space battle, while their friend is on the backseat turret mowing down enemies one by one, just so they can yell, "Don't get cocky, kid," and reenact our childhood dreams of reaching for the stars, exploring new frontiers, and fighting against the forces of evil. So we can say that the games like Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous came in the right time, like a glass of water on a hot and dry day, because those games have promised us almost unlimited freedom, no restrictions, you can be whatever you want and you can go wherever you want to, and they have promised a world so open that it will take you a lifetime to explore just a half of it. So it was basically the next big step in gaming, or the natural progression of the gaming industry. And it was somewhat logical, because it took us a decade to get from the first 3D shooters such as Doom that was released in 1993 to AAA FPS titles such as Call of Duty, for example, that was released in 2003. But what looked like a big step, it almost immediately started to feel like an impossible leap. But there were more and more people that wanted to support and encourage that leap of faith. And every month and every year there is more of them. So the question is why, considering that this is a scam? Well, that's at least what some media wants you to think. But behind all those clickbaity titles lies the truth. And the truth is that Star Citizen is available to play online. So it is not a scam, because you can play it, and it's getting updated every 3 months. You can't say that it's a scam if you can spend months playing it alone or with your friends. It's not a scam if it's getting better and better every year and people are still having fun with it. So what is it if it's not a scam? It is unfortunately a poorly managed project with some really bad and dirty marketing tactics. Without going too deep into those subjects, but still having to explain what I just said, I will say this. Firstly, what I just said does not in any way diminish the fun that you can have in this game. Secondly, when I said that it's a poorly managed project, I was talking about the split between Star Citizen and its single-player mode, Squadron 42, that is now being sold as a separate game. With a discount, of course, because it's not even close to being released. I was also talking about their constant prioritization of things that are irrelevant to Star Citizen purely because they're focusing on Squadron 42. That's not to say that we're not getting nice things in Star Citizen, on the contrary, we are. but we would get much more if their main focus was Star Citizen itself. And thirdly, when I said that they have dirty marketing tactics, I was talking about the constant sales of overpriced ships and vehicles and the nerves that happen just after the sales are done. I was also talking about how they constantly push the players into the fear of missing out with building hype around everything that has a price tag on it. But that doesn't mean that you need to spend any more than $45 on this game. You can get all the ships in the game. Nothing is locked behind the paywall. And for example, you can get the best fighters in the game by just playing it for a few days. So trust me, you do not need to spend any more money. Just get yourself a starter ship and you will be fine. And I believe that everyone should try this game, even though it's in a really broken state because it's riddled with bugs. Because it is an experience. When this game works, it is the best game you will ever play. And when it doesn't, it is very rage-inducing. But of course, things are getting better over time, even though some bugs are getting neglected by the devs because they're waiting for server meshing to come online, which should happen in less than a year from now, hopefully. But if you don't mind the bugs and you want to try it out and see it for what it is and experience the thrills that this game has to offer, let me tell you what you can do in this game currently, and afterwards I'll talk about the things that you will be able to do in the future. So what can you actually do in this game? The main thing is going to be, of course, the combat, because almost every ship in the game has a gun on it. Some of them have guns to defend themselves and some of them are designed to strike fear and pounce on the prey. There is a multitude of different weapons to select from. If we're speaking in terms of ship weapons, the most common ones would be the energy and ballistic weapons. I'm not going to go too deep into that topic, but all you need to know is that all of them have different characteristics and they are meant for entirely different purposes. Ships all have different flight models and some excel in certain areas, while the others would excel in areas that the first ones don't. So the game is pretty balanced when it comes to that. The only thing needed to bring down the enemy is experience and skill. Getting a $700 ship or the one that you will grind your ass off for you to get it in the game does not mean that you're untouchable. There is also a multitude of FPS, PvE and PvP missions and events, where you can choose which side of the law you want to be on, but where this game shines is its PvP aspect and the PvP events in particular, where you can find 10 to 20 different orcs fighting over the same loot on a planet. You can be on the legal side or be a feared bounty hunter, or you can be a pirate. That choice is entirely yours. Before we talk about the other game loops, I need to mention racing, or as we call it, hard flying. It is not considered to be a game loop by any means, but it is something that you will try once and never stop doing. Currently, we can only race against the clock or against ourselves, and don't get me wrong, it is not profitable at all, since it's not supported as a game loop yet. But we have just got our first racing track on a far moon, and in the future, racing will be an actual game loop where you will compete against other players to win different prizes. The reason why I'm mentioning racing right now is because of two things. Firstly, it is highly addictive to fly low to the ground at max speed and test your reflexes and flying skills. The second reason is because there you can see the differences between the flight models of each ship, as they all perform differently. But the main in-game money earner will of course be the mining. Star Citizen offers a vast array of mining game loops, and they will be expanded even more in the future. Currently there is 3 types of mineable rocks: those that are mined by hand, those that you will mine in a land vehicle, and the last ones can only be mined with a ship. Star Citizen currently has 2 mining ships and 2 mining land vehicles. They are both made to offer you a single-player experience and multi-crewing experience as well. But all of that will be expanded upon in the future. Once you find the best rocks to mine and you mine them, you're able to sell the raw ore directly to the stations, or you can refine the mine materials instead and basically double the money once you sell it on a planet that needs it. Currently you can only refine in the refinery stations, but in in the near future there will also be a way to refine and process raw materials on your own using a dedicated refinery ship. If you have a crew of friends, you can do mining operations with them and earn a lot of money that you will spend on upgrading your existing ships or buying newer and bigger ones. It is a pretty fun and chill game loop, but keep your eyes peeled. There could be pirates lurking around searching for prey, and you will be pirated if you're not cautious enough or if you don't hire security. Now, the next major game loop is of course going to be cargo hauling or trading. Cargo hauling is one of the major game loops in Star Citizen, and I will try to split it into a few main components so you would understand it a bit more easily. The most basic form of cargo hauling would be the delivery missions, or basically taking a mission to deliver cargo boxes from point A to point B. This will, of course, be more refined in the future, and we're currently getting more and more updates to that aspect of cargo hauling with the introduction of more and more derelict spaceships that you need to search to get to those boxes that you need to deliver. Some of them have hostile NPCs, so you should always carry a gun with you. The next component will be trading, which is basically being your own space trucking company. So you would buy ores, refine goods, food and stuff like that until you fill your ship up with cargo and then deliver all the goods to a space station or a city that needs it the most, for a profit, of course. Currently everything is automated, but in the next patch we will have to load up our ships by hand. So if you want to get a big ship to get a bigger profit, you should get a few friends to help you out with filling it up. On top of that, if you're into mining and you want to sell the refined ores yourself, you will do that by hauling those ores to the spaceport that gives you the most money for it. The last component will be the player-to-player trading, which is currently being worked on and it will officially be supported, but there are already some ways to sell some items that you have looted to other players. But beware, if you're into cargo hauling and you have a ship filled with cargo, you are a really tasty target for the pirates, and they will take your cargo or your ship, or they will simply extort you until you pay them. So do not go anywhere without an escort. And in the end, the last thing that needs to be said here is that the trading aspect of the game should affect the whole in-game economy, but that is something that will be developed in the future. The only thing that is currently affected by trading are the prices of goods and the availability of certain commodities in some stores that sell them. Before we get to a conclusion, let me tell you about the upcoming game loops that will be introduced in the near and the far future. The first one that's going to be introduced will be Salvage, and the first iteration of it will be in the game in the next patch, assuming that you're watching this video once it gets released, of course. What that means is that you will be able to strip the hulls of all the ships that you destroy and that you stumble upon during your endeavors. Once hull stripping is in the game, we will also get the hull munching mechanics, and yes, that's a technical term. There you will be able to drop those ships into grinder pits and basically recycle them for a profit, of course. The next major game loop is going to be data running. Once we get server meshing and more star systems working in the game, we will be able to collect data or steal the data from a data center in one system and deliver it to another. Exploration is also going to be a huge thing in this game, and we already have a ton of ships that are designed with that purpose in mind. I have already mentioned manual refining, but on top of that, we will get manual ship repairs. On that topic, we currently have ship-to-ship refueling mechanics, but we don't really use those mechanics because we're still constrained to a single star system. Staying on the topic of what we already have but we are not really using, we already have medical gameplay mechanics in the game, and there are already some specialized orgs that are focusing on being purely medical orgs, assisting other players when they're down and flying around in their space ambulances. But since that doesn't mean that much right now, there aren't many players that would wait around for a medical team to come to their rescue. But there is always more to come with this game, and we will see many more game loops in the future. If you want to be a space scientist and craft things to sell them, this game will have you covered. If you want to be a drug smuggler or an engineer that will maintain the ship during battles, or even a simple hunter of rare species of alien life forms, this game will have you covered. But in the future, of course, because that's currently not in a game. And in the end, we will be able to make our own bases on any of the moons or planets, so we could use them as straightforward basis of operations. So in the end, why am I still playing this game? Because it's fun. Even in its most broken state, it could be a lot of fun if you're playing it with friends. And this is the only game that you will see a 55-year-old playing with a 25-year-old, and both of them enjoying it for the ultimate sandbox experience that it is. Yes, it is buggy, and yes, it can break your heart when a patch is completely broken. And yes, I will keep on criticizing the developers on my channel until they stop giving me a reason to do that. But I still do love Star Citizen, and that's purely because it is the best space game out there right now, and I think that everyone should give it a chance and try it out. You will either hate it or love it, there is no in between. So that is my honest 2-year review of this game, and if you're still considering buying Star Citizen, consider using my referral code to get a slight boost with the in-game money, and you may even get something else as a reward for free. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all my patrons that are supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do it by clicking on the Patreon link down in the description of the video. And in the end, all I have to say is, as always, do not forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space.